Hey guys, it's Sodo Railway Studios here. Today I'm going to be starting a new series where I react to certain DVDs. I know Postman Douglas 2011 has done one of his own, has a series of this as his own. So basically, this was inspired by him. So shout out to him for that. And the DVD that's going to be starting this reaction series is Thomas's Trusty Friends, the Jack in the Pack DVD for Thomas. If this DVD review ends up getting copyrighted because of the footage, thanks to Mattel being such copyright snitches, I will do a Rory the Racing Car DVD reaction instead, but at the moment, I'm going to be doing this one. So, give me a second, I'm just going to insert the disc. Okay, I've just inserted the disc, and I'm going to have to mute it now, because yeah, that's a menu, so, you know, I might get copyrighted for the use of the theme song, honestly. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen, but I was trying to mute it so that it wouldn't catch the theme song, but this DVD remote is quite useless sometimes. It has the Making Tracks at Great Destinations logo. That's a very nostalgic one for me. I'm gonna try and skip it now. There we go. Yeah, because I might end up getting copyrighted for the engine roll call theme song, so that's why I'm skipping through the theme song and the Island of Sodor intro. Hope I don't get copyrighted. Okay, just as the DVD's about to start, technically.
The Fat Controller had a special.
There we go, Tale for Thomas. Although originally this episode was going to be called The Lightning Tree, which that title makes much more sense, objectively.
Jack and Alfie were excited.
Yeah, this DVD brings out a lot of nostalgia for me, honestly.
Why is it called the Lightning?
Oh yeah, and Thomas and Percy actually had to have bigger models built so they could interact with the pack models, because the pack models are quite big. I remember finding out on the Thomas Wiki.
You'll know, Kelly laughed. It's the biggest tree in the forest.
And Michael Angelis, I think, does really good narration in this. He's definitely I'd say he's better than he is in the majority of the hit era in this series, actually. He has a bit more energy than he does in the normal episodes in the hit era. But what I like about it is a lot of the characters' personalities mirror the normal Thomas characters. So like Jack is the equivalent of Thomas in the show, and Alfie is the equivalent of Percy. But from there, I think it gets a bit complicated. I'd say Kelly is probably the equivalent of Edward in the show, I think.
They had remembered what Miss Jenny said about being careful.
Oh yeah, Max and Monty. Yeah. Funnily enough, I think Max and Monty's horn sound in this series was later used for Flynn, or at least something similar, because they had different horn sounds in the CGI series.
The tree's falling down, shouted Jack. Not my fault, called Max.
Technically it is Max. You're the one that bumped into Monty.
Help, Jack! I'm coming, called Jack. Move aside, little fella, said Oliver.
Yeah. Fun fact, though, I actually wasn't aware of Oliver the Great Western Engine when I first watched this DVD. So this was the first time. So yeah, Oliver the Excavator was the first time I saw an Oliver in this show.
Kelly was helping
and yeah, I felt exactly the same when I found out there were two characters named Oliver. I felt really confused. Oh yeah, there's all three of them.
Get the props, called Kelly's operator.
Well, that's weird. Kelly's banksman's got a different colour outfit to the other banksman. Oh yeah, Jack's horn sound in this series I know is actually also used for Dodger and Bob the Builder.
Very tired. Soon the prop trolley had been attached to Jack.
Oh, I think this is the only time Jack's ever seen pulling anything. Which is funny because I think Jack's supposed to be based on some kind of tractor. Is it a Nuffield tractor he's based on?
pushed
I think it
until
is.
his arm ached.
I think he is.
I don't think I can hold this much longer,
Yeah.
groaned Oliver.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine how...
Raced
Oh, there we
up
go.
just in time.
Yeah, good work, Jack.
The workmen soon attached
I wonder,
the
how
props.
did the tree even get
The
that...
lightning tree
How did the
was
tree even
safe.
get that big scar from the
Hooray!
lightning?
Groaned Alfie.
Like, was it from the storm that... Was it from the storm that was shown in a lot of episodes in Season 7?
A terrific job.
Because I know the Pack series, this series I know was actually... It was actually filmed at the same time as Season 7, so...
But no
Which explains why there are
Percy, he
similar
said to Monty
shots
Max,
and
"You
why there's a lot
return
of
to the
stock
yard
footage.
immediately."
Oh, yeah.
Max and Monty were ashamed. They knew they were in trouble.
Yeah, that's what you get for mucking
Later,
about.
Thomas was taking
And there would later be an
Alfie and
episode
Jack
in
back to
Season
Miss
20
Jenny's.
called Mucking About, which had them as the main characters.
Cried Alfie. You can see it from here, called Jack.
Yeah.
It was the lightning tree. He was glad it was saved.
Yeah. Although it should have been called the Lightning Tree originally. Oh, that's odd. Thomas had Edward's whistle
There
then.
had been a big
Oh, and there's
storm
Thomas and the
on
Moles,
island of
or Buster
Sodor.
1 Mole 0.
Trees were down and
Yeah, that's
fences
actually
had
stock
blown
footage
over.
from Toby's windmill
Ellie
there.
and Isabella had been clearing
Although that was the
fallen
first. This was the
trees
first time I
from
ever saw that
Bradford.
footage because I didn't see Toby's windmill until I got
Ned
the
and
Complete
Max
Series
were
7
helping
DVD
remove a landslide.
later on in my childhood.
Nelson and Oliver
And there's the
were
first
on their
thing
way
of
to
Percy's
clear
large-scale model on
Henry's
the
tunnel.
DVD.
The Fat
Clear Henry's
Controller
tunnel.
sent
I think that was
Thomas
the.
to take his
I
friend
think that
to
was the only
football
time
ground.
Henry's tunnel was
"We must
mentioned
leave
in
immediately,"
any
said
hit
Miss
era.
Jenny.
But
"The car
well, this
park
isn't
is
technically
covered
part of the
with
hit
fallen
era, but it was
trees.
released around the same
Tomorrow is
time.
the big game,"
Because they filmed
said
these in
Thomas.
2003,
"We'll
but they
have to
didn't
move the
release them
trees
until
today,"
2006.
flattered Jack. You can rely
Which
on
I think
our
that was so that they
Buster.
could
"I'm
avoid
sorry,
competition
Buster,"
with Bob
said
the
Miss Jenny
Builder,
kindly, "but
because
this
both
is a
shows were owned
job
by
for
Hint
lifters,
Entertainment at that time, and they
pushers,
probably didn't want to have any
Buster
competition.
was sad.
Yeah, you do feel really bad for Buster in this episode until he gets to.
Buster watched
do it.
as everyone left.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. Only Monty's going.
"Everyone's
Where's
got a
Max?
job but me," he said.
Then again, Max
Thomas
is the only
knew
one
his
that
friend
appeared in
Buster was
season
unhappy.
6 in the
Nobody likes to
the
be
two
left
pilot
out.
the pilot episodes for this series, which were Jack jumps in and a friend in need.
At the football ground, everyone was working.
Yeah, even
very
though
hard,
I wouldn't say
clearing up
Robert
the
Hartshorn's
fallen
theme for the
trees.
Pack is quite as good as Mike
Thomas
O'Donnell and
could
Junior
see there
Campbell's,
was
but I
lots
do
to
quite
do,
like
but nothing for
his
friend
theme for the
Buster.
Pack.
Buster wasn't
Would have been nice if
upset.
Mike O'Donnell and
It's
Junior
not
Campbell did the
fair.
music for this, though.
I want to help
But
too.
hey, Robert Hartshorn was doing the music at the time they decided to release these, so
The
yeah.
work had gone very well. They were almost finished when Isabella
There's
arrived
Isabella,
with
yeah.
the new goalposts. Then Miss Jenny went
With a
on
very
to the
similar
pitch.
model to Elizabeth,
Oh my
Isabella.
goodness, she cried. Molehills.
Oh yeah.
Miss Jenny would need Buster after all.
How did they even get moles in
Thomas
the
returned to the yards
in the
as
football
fast
pitch?
as he could.
like, that's never really
"Buster,
explained.
I've come to take you to the football ground," he chuffed
Oh, and I
cheerfully.
don't know
"Miss
why, but for
Jenny
some reason I
needs
feel
you
like if
urgently."
Buster were to return to
Buster was
CGI,
so
my ideal
excited
voice
he
actor
thought
for him would
his
probably
boiler
be
would burst. Yippee!
Neil Morrissey,
He was
because he could do
very
his
happy.
give him his Rolly voice
There
from Bob
was
the Builder,
nothing better than
and you can probably
being
see why,
near
because
Gertie.
they're both steamrollers. Well, Rolly's not really a steamroller, but he is a roller.
Soon they
a road
arrived
roller,
at
I
the
guess.
football ground.
Though I think he does get referred to as a steamroller
After
in the show for
Buster
some
was
reason.
unloaded, he was amazed by what he saw.
Yeah.
Molehills, he cried excitedly. Hundreds of them. It looks like a giant currant bun, only green.
Wait, how does he even know what a
This was
currant
the
bun looks
moment
like?
He had been waiting for.
Yeah. Oh, and I love this music.
Buster clanked and sputtered and
Love it.
flattened and smooth.
And fun fact, I think this music was actually used again in the season 13 episode, The Lion of Sodor, actually. But I think it was a bit faster in that one. I just noticed one of the moles is wearing glasses. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know why the moles. I'm not sure why the moles are wearing clothes, but yeah, I suppose Mole from Mouse and Mole would like to meet those moles.
Well done, said the coach.
Yeah, anyone who remembers Mouse and Mole, let me know in the comments. Mouse and Mole is quite nostalgic for me. The one that had Richard Briers and Alan Bennett.
She told him simply that
yeah, rest in peace, Richard Briers, by the way.
Buster was proud, and all the way home, Thomas could
yeah, Richard
see
Briers
that
also voiced
Buster was happy.
Robert, Bob's
It's
dad,
a
in
grand
Bob the
thing
Builder,
to be really
and he also voiced Fiver in the original Watership Down film. Yeah, there you go. Thomas has his actual whistle now.
Thomas and Kelly
Yeah,
had
sorry.
just
Why wouldn't the camera
arrived at the
focus?
new library.
Oh yeah, there we go. Kelly's Windy Day. This is probably my favourite of the pack episodes, actually.
Kelly. Strong winds are dangerous
And
for a
I think
crane.
I don't know who my favourite member of the pack is, actually. I think
The wind was blowing so
it's either
hard
Alfie
that
or
Jack and
Kelly.
his friends could hardly get their work done.
Because I do really like Kelly's
Kelly's
character
brain
development in
didn't
this
like the
episode.
Uh-oh. This
Oh
is
no.
bad.
Oh.
Look out, cried
Oh.
Jack. But it was
Oh,
too
here we go.
late.
Oh. Oh.
Are you all right? Chuffed Thomas.
Now he knows how
So,
Cranky
but is anyone
felt
else
in
hurt?
Cranky Bugs.
No, said Jack. But
I
you
wonder how
demolished
difficult
the
that.
shed.
I wonder how difficult that must have been to
Soon, Kelly was
film.
back
Like
on
that must have been really
Thomas's
difficult.
loader. I'm sorry,
Depending
Miss
on
Jenny,
depending
said
on how
Kelly.
they
It's
actually did
your
film
fault,
it.
Kelly,
Um,
said Miss Jenny. We'll get
I
you
don't know
back
how
to
they
the
did
yard
film it,
so
but I'm
those
guessing
repairmen
maybe they
can
did make the
look at
shed
those wheels.
easy to
I'm
break.
glad it's only your wheels, said Thomas. Me too, said Kelly. But
Oh,
he was
yeah.
worried.
As a
What if
kid,
he
I
fell
never
over
noticed
again
that in that
and hurt
scene
someone?
Kelly didn't have one of Kelly's wheels was missing. I suppose they did that so that they could indicate that they were going to try and fix them.
And the rains pounded down.
Oh, I'd hate to be in that weather. Yeah, this
The
episode probably
repairmen were
perfectly
all
summarizes
on Kelly's wheels.
British weather, actually. What with all the big those rains, like
The next morning, the shed.
because it's usually really rainy in the UK.
Except
Like at the
Kelly.
moment, currently
The
it's
rain had
sunny
stopped,
currently
but
here in the
wind
UK
was
at the
still
moment,
blowing.
but
He was worried.
it is mostly really
Then
rainy and
Miss
it is
Jenny
mostly
came to the
really
shed
rainy
with
and
urgent news.
occasionally a bit
Isabella
breezy.
has come off the road at the quarry bridge.
Actually,
We
I'm
must
gonna
rescue
turn the
her at
volume
once.
down a little bit.
Kelly was still afraid he might fall over and hurt someone. Can't you
Actually,
send
yeah.
someone else? He
Yeah,
asked.
that's
Kelly,
fine.
There is no one else.
I think.
Isabella's
Actually,
in
I'll turn
trouble,
it down a
said
bit.
Miss Jenny, and
There we go.
must rescue
16 might be
her.
fine.
Isabella was scared.
Oh yeah.
She didn't like
When I first
taking
heard
the
Isabella's
end of
name, I
the
immediately got
season.
reminded of Bella Lasagna from Fireman
So,
Sam. I
Kelly
don't know
and Miss
why,
Jenny
but
arrived.
I did.
Isabella, are you all right?
Yeah,
asked
it's probably
Miss Jenny.
probably the Bella
I
part that
think
reminded me of
so,
Bella from Fireman
answered
Sam.
Isabella.
Because
Kelly had
at
to
at
remove the
that
piano
moment, I'd never
first.
heard the name Isabella before.
The wind blew and the piano swayed.
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
why
dear,
Kelly had to
Be careful.
take the piano off
Soon
Isabella's
Kelly lowered the
trailer.
piano safely
because
onto
because
the
if
ground.
he
Now he
got
had
his
to
because
hold
if he
his
rescued
jaws
Isabella
full
with the piano still
to
on, he'd
rescue Isabella.
the piano might end up falling off her trailer and it might get
Slowly
damaged.
started to pull Isabella back onto the road.
Oh yeah, this moment is quite intense actually.
The wind blew harder. Isabella began
Oh,
to
yeah.
teeter. Oh!
Yeah.
Kelly was worried.
Yeah.
He stopped.
I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like if Kelly were to come back in CGI,
Isabella.
I feel like Jimmy Hibbert would be a good choice to be his voice actor because he could give him a good. I don't know if he can do a good Irish accent, but for some reason I feel like an Irish accent would suit Kelly.
He started his winch again. He pulled
Yeah.
harder and harder.
Oh yeah, yes, come on, Kelly. Yeah.
Oh, my paint! The cheeky truck cried.
Yeah, Isabella's quite fussy about her
Isabella
paint.
was
Yeah,
finally back on the road.
she's a bit like a female James actually.
Well
It's like a
done,
mix between
Kelly,
James and
said Miss
Emily
Jenny.
in terms of her personality.
Well done. Thank you, Kelly, said Isabella.
Yeah. I like how Isabella's the one that
At
Kelly had
last,
to rescue,
Kelly
because
had his
it was
courage
established in Jack Jumps In that Kelly and Isabella
was on
are
her
good
way
friends.
again, and Thomas could see that Kelly was happy.
Yeah, that's definitely my favourite episode of the Pack series, because Kelly had great character development in that one. Oh yeah, Percy helps out. Another good one. This episode was originally called Nelson Gets Carried Away, which I think makes a lot more sense.
Hello, Nelson, Percy called.
Yeah, not a great voice in my opinion. Yeah, Michelangelis, he's my favourite narrator, but I'm not really a fan of his Percy voice from the Hits era, because he made him sound too similar to his James voice.
Day, Nelson was carrying until his axles ached. Just once, he thought to himself.
I don't know why, but
like to be
when it comes to a voice actor for Nelson, on my series, I don't know why, but for some reason I feel like if I were to pick a voice actor for him if he came back in CGI, I'd probably pick Mark Silk, because he could probably do his something similar to his Helly voice from Rory the Racing Car.
Next morning,
I like that transition with Nelson yawning and waking up.
The Fat Controller needs you to take him to the repair yard.
Yeah, I don't know why I think Helly's voice would fit Nelson, but I just do. Oh yeah, there's Thomas.
When Nelson arrived, he saw Thomas had come off the rails and had broken a wheel.
Oh, that must have been really hard to do. Take one of the wheels off. That must have been really hard to do.
Nelson had to be very careful. He'd never carried a steam engine before. Thomas's driver and Nelson's operator set to work at once. Nelson struggled as he winched Thomas aboard.
So they're just gonna leave behind the broken wheel? Like what did they do? What happened to the broken wheel? Did they take it to the scrapyard or something? Or did they use it as a spare part? I'm not sure.
Soon Nelson was on his way, but Thomas was heavy. Nelson had
they could have. I've just realised the plot hole of this episode. They could have easily picked up the other wheel and taken it to the repair yard.
Excellent time.
That was a bit silly on Thomas's driver's part.
Said Thomas. Thank you, said Nelson.
But hey, that's just a nitpick. It doesn't ruin the episode for me personally. It is still a good episode in my opinion.
I'd like to be carried sometime, said Nelson.
I don't think there's even really. I personally don't think there's even a bad episode in the Pack series. I mean, I guess Percy's Scary Tale might be the weakest one, or Scaredy Scaredy as it was originally called. I much prefer that title for obvious reasons. Because Percy doesn't even tell the scary tale in that episode. It was Kelly. Yeah. I think isn't this the first time the only time when isn't this the only time the Fat Controller talks to one of the Pack members? Yeah, it is. It's the only time he speaks to any Pack members.
Said the Fat Controller. I'm taking you, cried Percy.
Yeah, there we go.
Nelson could not believe
what
he
don't really know why they had to make it seem like Percy was the main character, because he doesn't even appear that much in this episode, but hey.
Thank you, everyone. They were off.
It was a good episode, though.
Percy was giving Nelson a splendid ride.
I do at least like how they tried to replicate the faces on the Gauge 1 models on the larger scale models for Thomas and Percy. I know in season 6, the faces on Thomas's large scale model, a lot of people find the faces on Thomas's large scale model creepy in season 6, but I don't think I ever had an issue with them, really. Personally, but I do agree. He's not got a brake van! I've just realised. He's not got a brake van.
Buster the Steamroller
That was the main issue that people have with the Miller era. Oh, Tortoise in the Hair. This one's another good episode. So that's 2 episodes focusing on Buster in the series. I think, I could be wrong, but I think Buster's the only character to have more than 1 episode dedicated to himself in the Pack series.
Thomas had brought Buster to the Sodor racetrack where his friends were working. They were going to finish the track today.
Yeah.
It was a responsible
Oh, there's Oliver
job.
again.
The track had to be made safe. Buster flattened the track around the final bend. He was
Yeah,
still
I would have loved to see an episode where Buster and George interacted, though, because
And the winner
they're both the
is
exact
Buster,
opposites of each
the
other, so it would have been amazing if...
steamroller in the world.
It would have been amazing if
Vroom,
there was an
vroom,
episode where
Buster
George
cried.
joined the Pack,
You think you're fast.
and like
Tease
Max and Monty would...
If you were
Max and
going any
Monty would have
slower,
like
you'd
met
be
their
going
match
backwards.
in a way,
Tease
I
Max.
suppose.
But Buster paid no attention. He was
Speaking of
having
which,
too much fun.
I know this isn't quite relevant, but Max and Monty's
Finally,
CGI
the work was
voices,
finished.
or Tim Whitnell's
Miss
voice for
Jenny
Max
came
in
to inspect the site.
the
You're a
CGI
good
series.
crew,
Tim Whitnell
said
voices
Miss
Max in the
Jenny,
UK
but
dub of the
track
CGI
still needs
series.
testing. Can I
And
test it,
his
Miss
voice for
Jenny?
Max
Asked
honestly
Buster.
kind of reminds
I'm
me
the
of
fastest
the voice that he
steamroller
did
in the
for
world.
Stingo in
Oh,
Fifi and the Flower
snickered
Tots.
Max. Monty
Because they're both kind of
snickered too.
slightly high-pitched
Perhaps
voice.
all
I think
three of you
Stingo's
should
voice, I
test
think,
it,
is a
said
bit
Miss
higher
Jenny.
pitched
The
than
foreman will
Max,
give
but
you the all clear, but remember, no speeding. Of
yeah.
course
The
not,
only time
said
she
Monty.
doesn't say safety
But Max and
first
Monty
after saying
knew they were
remember.
going to go as fast as they could.
Oh, cheaters.
They waited for the foreman to give the all clear signal.
There we go.
I'm ready.
Oh, there's
cried Buster.
the
You
one,
could
the
make
banksman with a
sail,
different coloured
said Max.
suit.
Not even a sleepy snail,
Not sure what,
added Monty.
because I think they established that that was
Foreman
Kelly's
raised
banksman,
his flag.
the one with the grey
Max and
suit. I
Monty
think they
were
established that was Kelly's
speeding away.
banksman in the Tale for Thomas. So I'm not sure what Kelly's banksman would be doing here, considering Kelly's not even at the site.
Did not
He doesn't even
snap
appear in this
Max.
episode.
Buster trundled
It's really funny
happily
seeing
down
Max and
the
Monty
track
argue.
as fast as his rollers would carry him, which wasn't very fast at all. Monty
Yeah, I love the
was
way
so
Michelangelo
cross,
said
he
that
punched
line.
Max. Ow! cried Max. You
Why were they wearing their happy faces
You're
there?
in the way,
They should have been wearing their
snapped
cross faces.
Buster was having a wonderful time.
I bet he was.
Max was cross
Oh,
with
they're wearing their
Monty.
happy faces
He
again.
decided to bump him back.
That's a
Before
goof,
they knew
yeah.
it, they
Oh.
skidded off the track
Yeah, that's what you
into the
get.
ditch.
And there he is again.
Meanwhile, Buster trundled
Mhm.
happily on,
Oh, yeah.
said the bull. Ooh,
Yeah,
said
that
Monty.
moment actually used to
They
scare me
trundled
when I was a
out of
kid.
ditch.
The moment with the ball. I think it was mainly
Monty and Max
I think it was the
ran
Max and
down
Monty
the
scream
track.
as well. Oh, and they just said that their names the other way round, Monty and
Towards
Max.
the finish.
That's funny because in Mucking About, Max said he always came first when they said their names.
Oh no, said Monty.
Yeah.
It can't be.
Yeah,
said
it is, Max.
but
It is, I'm
was
afraid.
too late.
Yeah,
Buster
Buster's won.
chuffed and puffed across the finish line.
It's just
When
like the
Max and
Koala
Monty
Brothers
crossed the
episode,
line, they were still
where George
arguing.
wins.
I came second, cried Max. Third, snapped
Um,
Monty.
Actually, Monty, Max is right. He did come second.
I wasn't even
Because Max is the number 15 dump truck, and he crossed the finish line before Monty. So yeah, Max did come second.
I brought a steamroller, he said.
I suppose, I guess the writer of this episode, was it Will Ing who wrote this episode? I think it was. I'm guessing he wanted Max and Monty to arrive at the finish line at the exact same time, but they couldn't achieve that.
I did come second, said Max. Third, snapped Monty.
Again, Max did come second. I saw it with my own eyes.
Thomas
Oh yeah,
was
Thomas's
taking
trusty
his
friends.
Ned to the old
Or
brickwork.
this episode was originally going to be called
Excited.
Another Fine
Today,
Mess,
I get to
which
demolish
again
old
makes a
men.
lot more sense.
Demolish, chuffed Thomas. Knock buildings down.
Yeah,
cried
Ned
Ned
is also
cheerfully.
quite a nice character.
Thomas thought it strange
He can be
that
quite
his
funny
friends
at
were
times.
always excited about knocking buildings
Yeah,
down.
Ned can be quite clumsy, as it's been established quite a lot in the series.
Miss Jenny had
She's actually quite similar to Warrior from Tugs,
It's
in a way.
time to go to work, she said. And remember, safety first, cried Ned and Oliver.
Yeah, I've recently discovered this on recent rewatches of the Pack series and from watching other YouTubers say it. But yeah, the dynamic between Oliver and Ned, it actually does kind of remind me of Warrior and Big Mac from Tugs. So like Ned is Warrior and Oliver is Big Mac. And I believe Thomas Theorist, I think, in his Pack video said that they reminded him a bit of Laurel and Hardy, the double act, the comedy double act from the 20s, I want to say. Which is funny because I think Hardy's first name was Oliver, so yeah, maybe they are the Laurel and Hardy of Thomas.
Said Oliver.
Yeah, this moment is quite funny actually. It just keeps not.
Oliver swung his wrecking ball as hard as he could.
Yeah.
He said again.
I love the way Michelangelos goes in all of them.
We need a bigger wrecking ball, cried the foreman. In no time, Oliver was fitted with a bigger wrecking ball.
Yeah. I love that face.
The wall didn't fall down.
Now this is how you do a 3-strike formula properly.
Ned asked.
Take notes, Sharon Miller.
No, said the foreman. This is Oliver's job. Ned was
Yeah,
sad.
I'm just kidding. I don't have anything against Sharon Miller as a person. Like she wasn't the best writer for the show, even though she did write some good episodes. But she wasn't the best writer. But I'm sure she's a nice person in real life.
Ned had gone
I'm sure most of the writers for the show are nice people.
Ned, shouted Thomas, the rubble goes in the trucks.
I love the way Michelangelos made Thomas yell Ned's name just there, like, Ned! I love that.
Finally, Oliver was fitted with the biggest wrecking
Oh, I love that transition between Oliver's shocked face and then his happy face.
swung with all his might.
Still nothing.
But the wall didn't fall down. Oh, bother, said Oliver.
I love the way I love how Michelangelos just sounded so fed up when he delivered that line.
Still dreaming of knocking buildings down and wasn't watching where he
Uh-oh.
was going. Look out, cried his operator.
Oh.
But it was too late. The chimney rocked, the bricks crumbled, the workmen and the foreman took cover.
This moment is amazing, this destruction scene.
Oliver and Thomas watched in amazement.
This is actually kind of similar to that scene in The Great Discovery where the tower falls over, actually. I just realised. Like, I know The Great Discovery came out after this, but I wonder if that scene with the tower falling off was inspired by this scene.
Hooray, cheered the workmen. Ouch, said Oliver.
I love this little bit of comedy here.
Ouch.
Yeah, you can tell they definitely added that in for comedy. Like, this is definitely...
Oliver was
Like, this is
dirty
definitely
and
some kind of...
battered.
This is definitely something you might
Thomas's
see in
trucks were full.
Tugs or something.
Bust my buffers, cried
Like,
Thomas.
kid shows back in the day used to have pretty good senses of humour. Like, Fireman Sam especially had a great sense of humour.
Proudly. Smash to smithereens, he steamed. Do you want me to break anything else? Ow! No, sighed Oliver.
No! I love the way you said that. Just, no! Really scouse for some reason, but yeah. Oh, On Site with Thomas. This is another good episode. Although the original title for this episode was Who's the Boss, which I think makes a lot more sense. Like, basically all the original titles for the pack make more sense than the titles that they were given when they were released on DVD. Oh yeah, this is the only time that Patrick appears in an episode of this series, and at all, because he didn't appear in any episodes after this. Would have been nice to see him though.
Radiators, it's hot,
because I know that Ardilo Hanlon, who played Dougal Maguire in Father Ted, they originally wanted him to voice Patrick. I think they were considering bringing back Patrick in CGI because they've said that they wanted Ardilo Hanlon to voice him, the same actor who played Dougal Maguire in Father Ted. Which makes sense actually, because Michael Brandon gave Patrick an Irish accent in the US dub of this episode, and Ardilo Hanlon is Irish, so that could be why. But sadly, Ardilo Hanlon declined the role. I think maybe I think apparently because I heard a clip of an interview when he was talking about it on one of Thomas Theorist's videos, and he said that. And he said hints of racial. He said, to quote him, he said hints of racial stereotyping there.
Is that true?
Yeah, that was my best Ardilo Hanlon impression. Let me know what you guys think of my Ardilo Hanlon impression.
That's what I do. Transport.
Down in the comments.
Without transport, there wouldn't be any construction.
But yeah, it is a shame that Ardilo Hanlon declined the role, because I'm sure he would have done an amazing job as Patrick. Like I haven't watched that much of Father Ted, but I have seen a few clips of it, and it is quite funny. Or the clips I've seen of it are quite funny. So I think Ardilo Hanlon thought that him being Irish and him voicing a cement mixer, maybe he thought they were doing it to be stereotypical. But anyway, let's get back to the episode. Oh, there's Max and Monty again.
Diesel Max. I am, boasted Monty. I can haul more in less time than anyone else.
Yeah.
Before their banksman could stop them,
off they go. The question is, do the packmen, do they even have drivers? Because they've established that they've got banksmen, but who's driving all of them?
Monty.
I've just realised.
I think that's enough, said Oliver politely.
Like, I like to think that if Max and Monty do have drivers, maybe their drivers are just as reckless as them.
Max, Monty,
because I know, apparently, I think the Sudrine Zero said that he found out that the dump truck drivers can be quite reckless on sites, apparently. So I think that could be why Max and Monty are quite troublesome. Oh yeah, here comes this moment.
Shouted Patrick.
Yeah. Oh, the moment is swerving. Yeah. This crash is fantastic, though. Oh, it kind of looks like Thomas has been, well, you know.
Shouted Monty. Not my fault, called Max.
I love how Max just doesn't seem to care. Like he's done the whole thing he did in Tale for Thomas again.
Moaned Thomas.
And I don't know why, but for some reason, when I was a toddler, for some reason, seeing Patrick covered in concrete, that used to kind of remind me of Macca Pacca from In the Night Garden. I don't know why, but it reminded me of Macca Pacca for some reason. Like him, maybe it's because of the beige color or something.
No such thing as most important. Not even Patrick, clattered Jack. Patrick.
Although technically, Miss Jenny shouldn't be telling Max and Monty off for Thomas being covered in concrete, because that was Patrick's fault, not theirs. I mean, they were still being quite reckless, though. I'll admit. Yeah.
It was a
oh, Alfie has kittens. This is a really sweet episode.
Thomas was bringing his friend.
Like this one's a guilty pleasure for me because I absolutely love cats. I used to have two cats. I used to have two cats, but sadly they've both died now. So rest in peace to both of them. Because one of the cats was actually the mother, and the other cat was the daughter. So I lost the mother cat first. I think before lockdown, I believe.
Look out, small fry! Boom, Max.
Yeah.
I'm not a small fry.
Small Fry, kind of like Stephen Fry, who actually recently got knighted this year.
Alfie was happy that the foreman had sent him to work with Ned.
Yeah. Yeah, you do really feel sorry for Alfie in this episode, though. This episode makes me relate to him a lot.
But as Alfie pulled up, Ned swung his bucket.
Oh.
Watch out! Cried Alfie. Sorry, said Ned. I didn't see you. You're
I quite like the deep voice that Michelangelo did for Ned here. I wish he kept it. But my ideal voice for Ned would either be Warrior's voice from Tugs or probably Paul Panting, who voiced Mark in the UK dub of the god-awful Bob the Builder reboots.
Alfie was upset.
Yeah, poor Alfie.
At the workman's tea break,
Yeah, you really do feel sorry for Alfie in this moment.
What's wrong? He asked.
Oh, and there's the season 6. I think that face, not that one, but the face before when Thomas was asking Alfie what was wrong. I think that one was actually from season 6.
Break's over, shouted Kelly. Back to work.
When I was little, I used to wonder where that siren was coming from, but nowadays on Kelly's page on the Thomas Wiki, it says that siren was his. Which I wouldn't be surprised, because he's the one that said that the break was over. I mean, I'm not an expert with construction, but I don't know if cranes... Actually, yeah, cranes do have sirens, construction cranes, but I don't know if they do that kind of thing for work. Oh yeah, it's nice how... I forgot to mention this in Thomas's Trusty Friends, but it's nice that Oliver's model is shown to can have different attachments, other than just the bucket.
I already checked inside, said the foreman. Small fry is hearing things.
Alright, Max, that's enough. Leave him alone.
I really did. The foreman looked inside again, and he was surprised. There's a mother cat in here, and she's got kittens.
Yeah.
We must rescue them, said Alfie.
Yeah, I'd want to. I'm a big fan of cats. Because as I said, I used to have 2.
Said Alfie bravely. I'm small enough to fit in.
And I used to like having it. Though it would have been quite nice if they got Kate Harbour to do the cat meowing noises, kind of like how she does with Pilchard in Bob the Builder. Or maybe even Melissa Sinden, who does the vocal effects for Jess in Postman... Who does the vocal effects for Jess in Season 3 onwards of Postman Pat. Oh, actually, I think the, one of those cats, I can't remember, I'll have a look at it. Yeah. Oh, that's it, Alfie. I've just noticed the mother cat actually looks quite similar to a tortoiseshell cat. I just realised. And I should know, because both of my cats that I had before they sadly died, both of them were tortoiseshells.
It's a fine family of kittens. I couldn't have rescued them if I'd been any bigger, said Alfie.
Yeah.
You may be small, said Kelly, but you've got a big heart.
Yeah, exactly,
and a really
Kelly.
Useful scoop, said Thomas. Alfie was proud.
It's nice that Max is happy that Alfie saved them. It does show that Max and Monty do have a caring side. But so they're not completely irredeemable. Oh, happy day for Percy. This is probably the worst. That's probably the worst title out of any of the episodes on this, because the original title was Byron Saves the Day, which makes way more sense. Like, it's not, because it's not even a happy day for Percy, because for one thing he gets splashed with mud by Max and Monty later on, but also he nearly watches Alfie sink in the mud.
And that means no carelessness, Max and Monty. Yes, Miss Jenny, they clattered.
No, we all know you're lying, because you always cause trouble.
Having a wonderful time. Alfie liked mud, and this was the muddiest mud he had ever seen.
Yeah.
Mud, glorious mud.
Oh, that's actually the title of an episode later on this DVD, Mud, Glorious Mud.
Byron was working very carefully.
I think it's also the name of an episode from in Little Red Tractor as well. Yeah, I have got quite a few Little Red Tractor DVDs, as it happens. Yeah, sound off in the comments if you want me to do a Little Red Tractor DVD reaction, because I'd be privileged to. Yeah. Oh.
Cried Percy.
I still can't tell whether or not Max and Monty did that on purpose, because they were they were actually quite close to Percy. So that implies that they did do it on purpose, but they might not have done.
Trying not to sink in the mud. Oh, Byron was upset.
Oh yeah, poor Byron.
Anyone to say, well,
I don't know why, but for some reason I'm talking about voice choices again. But I feel like if Byron were to come back in CGI, I feel like Will Harrison Wallace might be a good voice for him because he could do the voice. He could give him his cranky voice from All Engines Go. Like, even though I don't like All Engines Go, I do like some of the voices that Will Harrison Wallace does in that show. And I do like that Neil Crone came back to voice Gordon in the US dub, like how he voiced Gordon and Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Oh yeah, Alfie's in trouble now.
There's no way Alfie could get himself out.
He's basically drowning when you think about it. He's basically about to drown. Oh yeah, this is Byron's time. This is Byron's time to shine.
Grab my blade, called Byron. Alfie reached out. I can't reach it, he cried.
Oh. Yeah, this moment is quite intense,
Careful,
actually.
Byron, shouted Miss
Like, the
Jenny.
title of this
Careful,
episode is
you
ridiculous,
sink
the
too.
official one.
But
But the episode itself, this moment is actually quite
and
intense,
closer and
considering
closer.
Alfie's life is quite literally at risk.
Miss Jenny was worried.
This moment is actually kind of similar to Terence Breaks the Ice from
I've
season
got it,
21,
shouted Alfie.
except Terence nearly
Hold on.
fell into the frozen lake, not
Come
a
on,
muddy
Byron,
hole.
Kelly whispered.
Oh, yeah.
Byron struggled.
Yeah, come on, Byron.
pulled, And straight.
I love the music here as well. Yeah, I love how that face on Byron has one eye closed and one opened. I think that's the only time
At
where a
last,
character's face mask
Byron
had
pulled
something like that
Alfie to
happen.
safety.
Like,
Alfie
usually on
was
characters'
happy
face
to be out of
masks,
the mud,
both eyes are
and
open for the
Percy
eye
was glad
sockets.
his friend was safe.
Yeah,
Well
I like how
done,
they're
Byron,
consistent.
said,
Like
"Yes,
he's still
well
got mud
done,"
on him
said
from
the
when
foreman.
Max and Monty
Well
splashed
done,
him.
shouted Kelly. Well done, shouted
I like how they
everyone.
stay consistent with that.
Byron was proud.
Yeah, he should
He
be.
had more well done.
He just saved Alfie's life.
Because
if it wasn't for him, Alfie could have drowned, basically.
For Max and Monty. You'll be spending the next 3 days in your sheds, she said, and you should be ashamed
But
of yourself.
but hang on.
You could have
What
seriously
if she
hurt
needs
someone with
what
your
if she needs them
carelessness.
for another job?
Sorry, Miss Jenny, said
Like in
Monty
another
and Max.
time. Like I know they did nearly drown Alfie, but what if she needs them to
It was a
do another job? Though I guess they
beautiful
did get
day on the island
they did need to get their just desserts. Or get a
Thomas was
punishment,
taking
so-
the Fat Controller
A
to
visit
the
from
news
Thomas.
centre
Yeah,
for
this is another really bad title.
The Fat
Oh, that's
Controller
stock
had
footage
given
from
the
season
lamp
7,
school.
although it's flipped. But yeah, the original title for this one was Olivosaurus, and that one makes much more sense, and I think you
The
can all
school is
work
a
out why.
proper use for this land, the Fat Controller said proudly. Let me show you the football field, said Miss Jenny.
Yeah.
Buster was having a wonderful time rolling the earth flat.
Rock and roll!
Football field, said
Yeah,
Miss
I know this
Jenny.
isn't Bob the
Right,
Builder, but I just had to
said
do
the
it in
Fat
my best
Controller.
Rolly impression. My Rolly impression isn't great, but it's okay in my opinion.
Alfie was happily digging foundation
I think Neil
trenches
Morrissey would
for
be
the
proud.
school library. It'll be a
Like, it would have been amazing if they
library,
actually
said
did get
Miss
Neil
Jenny.
Morrissey to do a voice in Thomas, like he could, like as one of the construction vehicles. That would have been an amazing
This
reference to
will
Bob
be
the
swimming
Builder.
Pool, she said. She explained that Oliver had to
Um,
dig carefully.
Like I also feel like he would have been a good narrator.
Obviously, a swimming pool
as well.
must have very straight sides, she said. Obviously, said the Fat Controller.
Because Neil Morrissey, he didn't just do Bob the Builder. Neil Morrissey, he also narrated the Morph Files, which is a yeah. I believe this episode was actually shown to be filmed at the same time as 3 Cheers for Thomas from season 7.
Max was becoming impatient.
Because Miss Jenny's still on the platform and at the end of 3 Cheers for Thomas.
But Oliver would not be hurried. Hump, He was determined
Humph.
to dig.
I love the way he said that line. Some unintentionally... Like, Michael Brandon has some unintentionally funny moments as well, but I love some of the moments with Michael Angelis' narration.
Slowly scraped away the air. Hurry up there, roared Max. But
How
I
come Max has a
found something,
Scouse
cried
accent
Oliver.
all of a sudden?
Look. Rubbish.
Unless this,
spit Max.
unless this episode was recorded first, I don't know.
Said Oliver's operator.
I do know this was the first episode of the series to be released in the US on a DVD.
Miss Jenny
So that could be why only
Max
Max appears in here and not Monty, because it would have been
the expert.
because it could have tied in with season 6.
Amazing, said the expert with the red moustache. This is a dinosaur bone. A dinosaur bone, said Ned. Dinosaurs were animals that lived a long time ago, said Miss Jenny.
Yeah.
Their bones are all that's left.
Yeah, and I know
Said the expert with
the
the
Earl
fuzzy
and
beard.
the Earl of Sodor
I wonder
got
if
an
you
inspiration.
do some
Must have got
more
an
digging
inspiration
for
for
us.
this for the
Yes,
CGI
sir,
series.
beamed Oliver.
I forgot how funny that guy's beard was.
Soon
One of that
the
expert.
experts roped off the area. Oliver changed over to his smallest chisel. This job called for delicate digging.
Must have done. Like, it's kind of a shame that they never showed Alfie with some of those
Oliver found
tools
some
though.
more bones. Ooh. And some more.
Though I think they did show Alfie with a jackhammer type attachment or chisel,
And some more.
like in the
He
CGI
had
series.
covered the skeleton
They did show
of a
that.
whole dinosaur.
Yeah. Maybe this is what inspired the season 9 episode
This is an important day
Rheneas
for
and the
the island of
Dinosaur.
Shodor, said the Fat Controller. Thanks to Oliver's careful digging, said Miss Jenny. Makes me proud to be an excavator, said Alfie.
I bet.
A man with a camera even took
Oh.
Oliver's picture.
That must have been amazing. Yeah, this does kind of feel reminiscent of Rheneas and the
next morning,
Dinosaur.
Thomas brought
But
the
this
Fat
is definitely a much
Controller to
better
the yard.
episode though. Even though I don't hate
We have a celebrity
I don't
here,
hate Rheneas
he
and the
said.
Dinosaur, but I do agree it's not a very good episode.
Said Ned.
Because Rheneas and Scarloey were quite out of character in that episode. But I do plan on doing a rewrite of it soon. Like I might record my narration of this once I'm done with this reaction actually. Alright, this is the last episode on this DVD, Mud Glorious Mud.
It was a rainy, muddy day on the island of
Yeah,
Sodor.
like I said, this episode also has the
Thomas
same
was
name as an
glad he
episode
didn't have
from
to work in the mud like
in
Miss
Little Red
Jenny's
Tractor.
machines.
Speaking of which, it would have been amazing if, like I said, if Jimmy Hibbert was to do voices in the show, because I know because Jimmy Hibbert voiced Stumpy in Little Red Tractor, and I think his Stumpy voice would have been great for Jem Cole,
She didn't
Trevor's
want to get
driver.
dirty. Isabella
And
never
speaking of
was
Trevor, he actually
dirty.
makes a background cameo in this because he had a
Hurry up,
so he shows he had a
You
large because it
always
proves he had a
take
large
the
scale
long
model
way
built.
round. I take
And
the
I think he also had a role in another episode about Isabella, which was one of the cancelled episodes in the Pack series.
Help! He cried.
Oh,
I'm out of diesel.
oh, Monty is as well. Oh,
The rest of the machines were running out of fuel too. Jack spluttered and stopped. I can't
why does
even
Byron look
my
so
bucket,
happy
he
though?
said.
Like, surely he
Without
must have
more
run out of
diesel,
fuel
we'll
as
never finish
well.
this job on time, said Miss Jenny.
Unless maybe
The
they
foreman
forgot he
had
was there. I
news.
don't know.
The fuel truck's broken down, he said.
The
It can't
filmmakers, I
bring
mean, not the
I'll call
other
the
machines or Miss
controller,
Jenny,
said Miss Jenny.
the filmmakers.
We need to get some diesel fuel to Miss Jenny, said the
Yeah, this was
controller.
clearly filmed
Thomas,
around the same
I
time
want you
as
to leave
season
the
7 because
conversation
that shot looks
immediately.
very
Yes,
very
sir,
much like
said Thomas.
season 7. Wait, what's
It's a
Salty
good
doing
thing
there?
you
Shouldn't
steamers
Salty be at the
don't use
docks?
diesel, said Miss Jenny. Isabella, I'm sending you to meet Thomas. Off with you, and be careful.
Oh yeah,
Isabella
there's
lifted her
Trevor
ears
in the
and
shed.
steamed off across
So yeah, that
the
proves that he did
She was
yeah.
hoping she
So
wouldn't
that
get
proves he
too
was going to be
dirty.
in this series because I think he had a role in one of the cancelled episodes, like I said. I think it was
saw the road was
Isabella
flooded.
gets steamed. So yeah, another episode about Isabella.
Water was up to her axles.
Oh, poor
Isabella's
Isabella.
paintwork was getting dirty, but she didn't stop. Thomas
Yeah.
was
This is why I
stealing as
prefer
fast as he
Isabella
could
to
get
Elizabeth.
the
I don't mind
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. I just think Isabella's a better character personally. I would have liked to see an episode with Isabella and Elizabeth interacting though.
Looks like the road is blocked.
Yeah.
Isabella
Normally I probably would have gone,
Jenny
"Oi, you!"
were
But I
counting.
realised that's not
Then
the
on
policeman
right
from
across the field,
Thomas in
she
Trouble,
said
so I can't.
She left the road and skidded across the muddy field.
If anything, he looks a bit more like
Yuck! She cried.
PC Selby from Postman Pat.
Isabella was so dirty, she didn't even look like herself.
Yeah. I mean,
But
she's still
wouldn't
got...
give up.
She's still clean on the top, though.
Finally, she pulled it.
Oh, but yeah, she is filthy there.
Exhausted. Isabella, cried Thomas, you made it. Only just.
Yeah.
Soon the fuel drums were loaded and Isabella was on her way. By now, all of Miss Jenny's machines were out of fuel. The site had never been so quiet.
Yeah, I bet. This episode's plot story is actually kind of similar to Thomas to the Rescue from season 8.
And splashed and
Though I think there was
struggled
actually a
through the
cancelled
muddy
episode
water.
of the series called Pop Goes the Diesel. Not to be confused with the season 2 episode. But I think that one was more similar to Thomas to the Rescue than this one.
The muddiest, grubbiest flatbed truck they had ever seen steam through
There
the
we
gates.
go.
Isabella, cried Alfie. You made it, cried Miss Jenny.
There we go.
Soon the machines were full of fuel and happily back at work.
Yeah. Good job, Isabella.
You've been really useful, beamed Miss Jenny. A job.
Oh, I've just realised the engine roll
I
calls.
knew she'd do it.
The engine roll
You should
calls
be proud
are going to
of
be
yourself.
shown in a minute. I'm probably going to
Oh,
skip
yeah?
through that
Answered Isabella,
because
but
I then got a
could
bigger
use
chance
much
of getting
now.
copyrighted. Like I said, even though I do have a chance of getting copyrighted for the footage, but I might, for all I know, I might end up being lucky because this is the pack series, and I don't think Mattel's quite as. No, I still need to skip through it. It's nearly end. Yeah, there we go. There's the credits. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Willing did write Tortoise in the Hair. I was right. So yeah, this DVD brings back a lot of memories for me. I had a lot of fun doing this reaction. Sound off in the comments if you want me to do another one, but if this one doesn't work, I'm gonna do a Rory the Racing Car DVD reaction instead, which I'll probably film tomorrow and upload. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.